everyone. Today I'm joined with Henry Harteveldt, President and Travel Industry Analyst at Atmosphere Research Group. Thank you for joining me, Henry.
My pleasure.
So, would you mind just giving a brief introduction to yourself and your history in aviation?
Sure. Well, I'm a travel industry analyst and have been one for 23 years, 11 years at Forrester and 12 years with my own company, Atmosphere Research, where we look at the intersection of commercial topics, technology, and traveler behavior. And we try to figure out what the emerging trends will be for the industry, looking at a 3 to 5 year timeline horizon.
So, just to begin with, there's been a lot of talk about the Asia Pacific region lately, especially with China reopening. Could you tell me why you think it's such an exciting region for aviation at the moment?
Well, look, Asia is an enormous region, and financially, and in terms of the number of people who are traveling, and in terms of freight and cargo, it is one of the largest regions in terms of airline revenue. It's highly competitive with well-established national carriers and a growing array of ultra low-cost carriers. And it's a market that is growing because as airlines open more destinations, as fares come down, it excuse me, it makes travel a lot more affordable. So unlike very established markets such as North America and Europe, where growth is limited, there's still a lot of organic growth to be enjoyed in Asia. It's also a region where technology is really at the heart of not just the industry, but how consumers live their lives. It's a very tech-centric region of the world. And so it's always interesting to see what is happening in Asia, because in some ways we see a lot of innovation taking place in the region, innovation that doesn't always make itself apparent in other parts of the world for years.
Wonderful. And just what you touched on there, that's something we've been hearing a lot about. So how obviously it's an incredibly diverse region, but the relationship between technology and some of the countries in the APAC region is really an interesting intersection and such a wonderful growth area.
It is. I mean, if you think about it, Singapore, where we're going to have Aviation Festival Asia, as well as Bangkok and some other places, are hubs of technology startup businesses, innovation, and more. So it's always interesting and enjoyable to attend a conference that has a tech track where you have so much creativity and so much energy in the tech sector. Now, obviously, not all of that, those startups are going to be airline or aviation focused, but some are. You also have airlines in the region that have their own innovation labs and that do a lot to foster a culture open to innovation within their organizations. So it'll be enjoyable to hear that.
Exactly. So we've touched on a couple of things already, the growth and tech, but what do you see as some of the key trends our audience can expect to hear a lot about at this year's event?
I think some of the key trends are obviously how is the consumer changing? What behaviors are we seeing from travelers that are different, not just pre-pandemic, but even in the past few years, because the rapid adoption of technologies amongst consumers in the Asian region. The other trends are obviously are airlines investing what they need to in terms of budgets and in the technologies that they need to. In some of my prep calls, I was surprised to hear that the operational problems suffered by a US airline in December have sparked some rethinking and reexamination among some Asian carriers about their technology investments and their prioritizations. What is the role of innovation? We can't have innovation just for the sake of saying we do it. And it's not just always about technology. It's about sustainability. It's about marketing. It's about employee service and engagement as well. So there's a lot going on. It's a shame we only have 2 days for the festival this year. I think we could easily fill a third day with panels and discussion. There's just so much taking place in the region.
Wonderful. So, like you said, there's a lot of different sessions going on. Would you be able to give our audience some insight into what to expect from this?
Well, what I look forward to at the festival is as the analyst, hearing the airlines and airports and technology companies discuss what they're doing. Where are they having successes? What challenges exist? How are they getting around the roadblocks that occur as a result of what they're trying to achieve? I'm also looking to see what the mood is like. I mean, yes, we will all be happy to see one another, but the global economies are uncertain at best right now. And airlines and aviation are highly susceptible to the economic winds. Is anyone concerned that the economic uncertainty will force airlines to reduce their investment in tech and innovation? Or will it be a catalyst for actually greater investment in tech and innovation, much as the outbreak of the COVID pandemic turned out to be? So there's a lot to hear. And what I'm equally enthusiastic and interested in learning is not just from the airline side, but from the airports. We have several airports who will be speaking. And these airports view themselves as not just gateways to their cities or even countries, but gateways to the traveler experience and what people can expect at the airport and beyond. So there's going to be, I think, a lot of interesting conversation.
Absolutely. And you touched on a fantastic point there that there will be airports and airlines together. And I think that's a conversation or a dialogue that's been is a really interesting one to delve into and that intersect between those as well as what they both have to offer standalone.
Right. Look, airlines and airports are spouses, if you think about it, and they need each other to get along. And just like married spouses, they don't always get along. But it's wonderful to have both groups at this conference to get the different perspectives, to hear, where are the priorities and where are the limitations that each group have. Where can are opportunities to collaborate? Airports are keenly focused on making themselves more cost efficient for airlines. They're keenly focused on sustainability. And they're keenly focused on also being better landlords to their tenants, such as their concession operators. Airlines, of course, are looking at tech on many different areas: maintenance, employee focused tech, customer focused tech. And so to have both parties discussing these topics and opportunities for collaboration, I think will be exciting.
Exactly. So finally now, how do you think the event contributes to the industry ecosystem as a whole?
Well, what's wonderful about Aviation Festival Asia is that it is independent. There is no trade group that is sponsoring it, so you don't have any hidden agendas from the trade group. And while there are a lot of wonderful sponsors who are at the conference and supporting the conference, even enabling the conference to take place, the agenda is truly independent. The conversation is open, honest, unfiltered. I can promise you that in some of my sessions, there are going to be some very bold statements made that may make the audience uncomfortable. And those statements aren't going to be made by me. They will be made by some of my panelists and interviewees. But that's okay. That's what we want, because these statements are going to challenge a lot of us to think and rethink what we do. Who do we hire? How do we manage? How do we support employees? Where should we be investing, whether it's with technology or other tools, to make the business better, to make the customer experience better, to make the experience better for cargo customers and the communities and more. I'm also really interested to hear about some of the sustainability initiatives that are taking place, because Asia is an area that is really at the forefront, not just of action, but also thinking.